Now we review the 2023 film Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am Richard. This is Random Street Theater. I have seen Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Why is nobody reviewing this movie? Anyway, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. I am trying to clean the world for you and for me, and you can help by supporting this channel. Anyway, so Guy Ritchie's The Covenant is essentially that's better. Is essentially three related stories. You have the first story, which is a new interpreter and a military person played by Jake Gyllenhaal are looking for an IED factory. Okay, that's the first story. The second story is running from the Taliban. And the third story is trying to secure safe passage to America for a hero who saved an American life and became a legend. So yes, those are your three parts. And, the reason it's called The Covenant is that they're saying, look, when somebody puts their ass on the line for you, you respect that. You pay them back for that. You make sure things are taken care of. All right? Makes sense. Okay. So, this is a story that takes place in Afghanistan before we pulled out. And I believe at the end of the story we are still in Afghanistan, as opposed to in real life where we're not in Afghanistan. But for one thing, if you're here to see some awesome battle sequences and learn a little bit about the military and military hardware and things like that, yeah, great movie for you. This movie is absolutely realistic and epic. It's a pretty solid film. I like the story. But on a larger point, it does speak to one of the problems that happened in Afghanistan. Is there are a lot of people that sat there and said, the Americans are here. They're going to make a better life for us. Let's support the Americans. And, who thought that what we were doing was going to end well? I can't imagine anyone thinking that, because that was really terribly stupid on our part. It's the same thing that happened in Iraq, but even worse. And it's like, look, we Americans, what we tend to do is we go into a country, we basically win the war, then we start policing the country, and then we pull out. And when we pull out, the people we leave behind, well, they're used to not having to fight and, being supported by the Americans. So they're like, nah, we're not going to sit there and fight. We're going to run. Right? And how to deal with this problem is never addressed in the movie. But what is addressed in the movie is that when somebody comes out on our side, we have a debt to pay, and we should pay that debt. It's a concept of the moral compass of the country. So, in all reality, this moral compass is very important. So, again, how do I tell you this without spoiling it? Because essentially, you're dealing with what should be three separate movies. They're very different topics. A movie is essentially a story told in three basic parts. There's the setup, the primary action, and then there's the conclusion. That's how that works. You can break it up into smaller points after that, but it's like the setup runs long but is very interesting. The middle is actually a very short part, and then the conclusion is the real beef of the story, but the three earlier parts set up why this is so important, so that they are linked together and they are solid pieces. But I mean, with this movie, there is a larger global scale to understand. There is something much bigger. And if you're the kind of person that watches the news that is concerned with America and American values, this movie becomes a must-watch. It is an excellent film. If you are not that person, you will probably still very much enjoy this film. I mean, there are references to DC Comics and all those sorts of things, and Gyllenhaal is, of course, a marvelous actor. So, yeah, you know, great movie. Definitely recommend. You should watch it.
Hi, folks. It's me, Barry, again. That's right, the strawberry poison dart frog adopted by Random Street Theater from the World Wildlife Fund. And I'm here to remind you that for every 1,000 subscribers, this channel buys one of these necklaces I have on, which are bracelets for humans. That's from the company 4Ocean. And they pull a pound of trash out of the ocean every time this channel does that. So you should be a good person, comment, like, and subscribe, so that this channel can afford to pull pounds of trash out of the ocean and adopt animals like me for conservation's sake. I'm Barry.